Financial freedom, yeah, that's the goal. Invest your time, invest your soul. Save it, stack it, watch it grow. Generational wealth, Coach Flo.
I want to welcome everyone back to another episode of Generation Investors Podcast. In today's segment, we're talking about top five high yield savings account that you should consider moving your money into one of these accounts. Now, there's plenty more savings accounts out there or high yield savings accounts out there. You just got to go ahead and do your research, do your due diligence. But for me, this is not financial advice. This is financial education. And by what I mean that you got to go ahead and do your own research. And so the first one I want to talk about is SoFi. That's right, SoFi. And I have a high yield savings account with SoFi. And the reason why I like SoFi because you can earn 3%, okay? 3.8 APY, exactly. 3.8 APY is up from 3.3 of last year. Not to mention, you have zero minimum deposit. And at the promotion, they have a promotion right now. You can earn $50 to or $400 when you set up an eligible direct deposit. But besides the promotion, I like SoFi because you have the best of both worlds. If you want to trade or if you want to invest, if you want to open up a checking account, if you want to open up a regular savings account, you got all that at your disposal. And they're adding more to SoFi where you can trade after hours, you can invest after hours, okay? You can get paid a little bit earlier from unlike some of these other traditional banks. So SoFi is that one-stop shop, in my opinion. But like I said, you do what's best for you. And we're moving on to American Express, okay, another high yield savings account that you should consider because they have an APY of 3. That's right, 3%, zero monthly fees, and the interest compounds daily. So that's something that you can consider because within our regular banks or traditional savings accounts, you're only getting 0.001. That's right. If you got $100, if you got $500, you got $1,000, you got 5,000, 10,000, 20 plus, you are only making 0.001% after that year. So that's not even a drop in the bucket compared to where our inflation is, okay, our cost of living. So you want your money to be making you money. And this one right here is something to consider when it comes to open up a high yield savings account. And then we want to move on to Capital One. Okay, Capital One, this one right here, this one also has 3 APY. That's right, zero fees and zero minimum. Okay, zero minimum deposit. Okay, so Capital One is also another high yield savings account to open or to consider. Especially if, let's say, if you have a credit card within Capital One, like I have a credit card with Capital One, then maybe that's something that you can consider with Capital One 360, because they have other locations if you want to go to these locations, let's say in person, consider joining Capital One. I think Capital One is actually a good bank, and they are continuing to innovate within their structure. So that is something to consider. Then we can move on to US Bank. All right, US Bank. This one has 3.5 APY. That's right, 3.5 APY. And US Bank, this one is also, it helps with if you're trying to get a house, okay, if you're trying to get some loans, is things to consider with US Bank on top of the high yield savings account. So let's just say you're trying to save up for a house. Why not have a high yield savings account tied in with US Bank? Okay, so like I said, go ahead and do your homework on US Bank and consider. And then let's move on to E-Trade. Okay, E-Trade. This one that I did my research on, you can earn up to 4% APY. That's right. That's crazy. For 6 months plus the $400 direct deposit. But E-Trade also allows you to trade and to invest. Okay, so not only you getting the best of investing, the best of trading, you can start that high yield savings account within their particular platform. And E-Trade has been around for a while. So like I said, these are my top 5 to consider. There's much more high yield savings accounts out there, and that's why I want to leave you with, if you stay tuned towards this portion, gotta leave you with the motivation and the takeaways. 1, research and compare. You have to do your due diligence. Always do your due diligence. Don't go off of what this influencer is saying, what this commercial is throwing out at you, what maybe your family is saying, what your friends saying, your coworkers are saying. You do what's best for you, and you do your research. You compare and see which one is going to be beneficial for you and your family when it comes to making this financial decision. And this one right here, number 2, build that emergency fund. When I say things are expensive and is not coming down, I do mean it's not coming down. It's not coming down. When I look at the cost of living, our rent, our mortgage, our food, don't get me started with gas because of what's going on over in the Middle East, US and Iran, and that's don't seem like that's coming down anytime soon. So now with that being in the forefront, and you got to look at our job markets and our economy, the state of our economy. Things are fickle. Jobs are fickle. Organizations, things are cutting back. People are cutting back, and inflation is only increasing. So, and then when it comes to our wages, they're not even keeping up with how we are living our life. So, emergency fund is Mando. It's critical. If I don't say anything else, emergency funds are a must. Like I said, insurance, food, gas, rent, mortgage. I mean, stuff is out. It's astronomical. So now's the time to say, you know what? I'm gonna set aside $10. I'm gonna set aside $20. I'm gonna set aside $50. Okay, pay yourself first. Definitely pay God. Pay yourself after that, and then you pay your bills and take that percentage. And every time you get paid, it's time to build up an emergency fund, because things are only increasing and it's not slowing down. So if you have enjoyed this episode today, leave me a comment below. Are you considering that high yield savings account? Do you even have a high yield savings account? If you haven't, now's the time to start. So if you have enjoyed this episode, smash that thumbs up, hit that like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.